Hey, it's your girl Meiko. I'm a food blogger over at Meiko And The Dish. You can find me on Instagram at Meiko And The Dish. Today, I'm gonna be showing you the 3 ultimate peach recipes for the summer. The first is a grilled peach panini. The second is a sweet and spicy peach sticky wing. And the third is a classic peach cobbler. All right, so let's talk a little bit about peaches. Peaches are best during the summer, between the time of May and September. To pick the perfect peach, I like to do the press test. I'll go ahead and press my thumb into the peach, and if it gives a little bit, then I know it's the perfect peach. If it gives too much, or if it doesn't give at all, then those aren't the good ones. So the first dish we're going to make today is a grilled peach panini. First things first, I'm going to show you how to take the pit from the middle of our peach. What I like to do is sink my knife into the peach until I feel the pit in the middle, and then I use that as a guide to go around the entire peach. Normally, if you have a pretty ripe peach, you can break the two apart, and you'll have one side that is free of a pit and one side that actually has the pit. And so this is where you're gonna need to do the work. What I like to do from there is take my knife, sink it into the surface of the peach, going around the pit, and voila, you have a pit-free peach. Now all we have to do is slice the peach. So I'll just start guiding my knife, thinly slicing all the way through, making sure to cuff my fingers so that I'm not cutting off my nails. And these are perfect slices for a panini. Nice and thin, but still juicy and full of flavor. All right, let's start making our panini. I'm starting off with some sourdough, and I normally will use either a homemade pesto or store-bought pesto. Store-bought pesto is totally fine for this. I like a nice juicy sandwich, so I'm gonna be pretty generous with my pesto. The key to layering your panini is making sure you stack appropriately. So what I'll do is I'll get some brie cheese, and I like to add it, making sure that everything is kind of centered. You don't want anything leaning too far to one side, because then as you press down, it'll move, it'll shift. And so you wanna make sure that that doesn't happen. That looks good to me. I'm gonna add some thinly sliced peaches. I'm gonna add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. That's gonna give me that extra acid, that punch of flavor. It looks amazing. So I am using room temperature butter. I am going to be very generous there. And then we're going to get our panini press ready. It's about medium high. I'm going to do a little backup with some cooking spray just to make sure, to make sure that there's no extra sticking going on. And then I'm going to take my bread and I'm going to flip it onto the panini press and carefully set that down. Ooh, I can hear the sizzle. While it's in the panini press, spread the remaining tablespoon of butter on the top. Ooh, all right, it looks like our panini is ready. Oh my goodness, you can see the cheese oozing out. Everything's looking good, but I'm gonna set this aside. And I'm gonna work on a little side salad to go with our peach panini. So what I like to do as a quick tip is I like to grill my peaches on the panini press so they get some of those really cute grill marks. Ooh, look at these. The grill marks are amazing. I am so excited. I'm going to dress my arugula with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, do a little toss, toss, toss. And then I'm going to add in my beautiful peaches. And there you have it, the perfect grilled peach panini with a arugula and grilled peach salad. Oh my goodness, this is so amazing. I absolutely love it. It is the perfect summer lunch. But if you're looking for something with a little bit more heat, you should try the sweet and spicy peach sticky wings. These sticky wings are perfect for a good game night, dinner. You really can do it for almost anything. But first things first, we need to start with the dry rub. We had a chipotle powder, smoked paprika, baking powder, onion powder, garlic powder, kosher salt, cayenne pepper, Italian seasoning, cumin powder, and black pepper. So once you get them all into the bowl, make sure that they're all evenly distributed. So I have a bowl of chicken wings. The actual flats have been separated from the drums. I'll put oil onto the actual wings, and this is gonna give it a nice coating so that the dry rub sticks to it really nicely. And then I'm going to add in my dry rub. And I normally like to do it in little portions just to make sure that the dry rub gets across all of, I said I like to do it in portions, but it all went in. And that's okay because I'll use my hands in order to evenly incorporate it across all of the different wings. And some of it will get to the bottom, so I'll just use that to make sure it gets over all of the wing, the body of the entire wing. All right, everything looks pretty well incorporated. I'm going to add my wings onto the cookie sheet. I spaced them out so that the air can circulate around the wing and so that they crisp up really nicely. While my wings are baking, I'm gonna get started on my glaze. I'm starting off actually with a little secret canned peaches. And I love canned peaches because you can use them year round, so you can enjoy this dish no matter what time of the year it is. So I'm gonna add my canned peaches into my skillet. Then I'm gonna add some brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, soy sauce. I'm adding some sriracha for a little bit of spice because I love spice on my wings. We've got some cinnamon that's gonna bring out that warmness in the dish, some black pepper, and salt. Our final ingredients are a dry bay leaf and some water. All right, so now I'm gonna stir this all up. Once it reaches a boil, then I'll turn down the temperature and let it reduce down for another 15 minutes. The first thing I'm gonna do to complete the glaze is I'm gonna remove that bay leaf. I'm gonna carefully add my peaches to my blender. We need to put it through a fine mesh strainer so we have a really beautiful and smooth glaze. What we wanna do is we wanna turn the heat back up. We wanna bring our glaze to a boil so that it thickens for about 5 minutes. We're gonna add some chilled butter to it. Just wanna make sure that the butter fully incorporates into the entire glaze. I'm gonna take about 1/3 of the glaze and just brush the entire surface of each of the wings. You really wanna make sure that you get the entire wing on this round. So you wanna turn them over, get both sides fully glazed. Now it's time to put it back in the oven for 5 minutes. I'm going to add some glaze on the outside of each of the wings, and we're adding the glaze in layers. So once you take a bite out of that wing, you are hit in the face with all this summer peachiness. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. We're gonna flip and get the other side. You wanna make sure that these wings are fully glazed. Ooh, this looks amazing. So I'm adding the wings to a bowl and then top them with our glaze for a final toss. So these are gonna be super triple layered, glossy, yummy wings. I'm gonna add these to our plate. And then you should have a little residual glaze that you can just kinda pour over the top and let run down the rest of the chicken. These wings look amazing already, but I'm gonna go up another notch and top with a little bit of cilantro just to add a little bit of color. My goodness, these look incredible. Look at these wings. They look juicy, smothered, extra peachy with all that peach glaze. The peach flavor and the crunch just comes right through. It's absolutely incredible. This is an amazing sticky wing. So I've already shown you 2 amazing peach recipes, but let me tell you, this last one is a classic, a good old peach cobbler. It is the quintessential Southern summer dessert. So to get started, we have to first peel a peach. What I like to do is take a little paring knife here, and I'll guide the knife along the outer skin of the peach, making sure not to dig into the skin too much, and we're pretty good to go. And then we're gonna go ahead and remove the pit. As you can see, it's a little bit stickier. It's not giving up that pit. So I like to try to see if I can get a twist on it and it's not giving in. So what I'll do in this case is I'll basically quarter it while it's on the pit. We've got a slice. So this should help us get closer to the pit and allow us to start taking off more slices. It held on to the very end. It's time to make our filling. I'm starting with some brown sugar, a little cinnamon, nutmeg. Those are gonna add some really nice warm spices to it. Vanilla, because there's really no desserts without vanilla. I like to add a little citrus notes, so I'll add some lemon juice. Salt, which helps bring out some of that sweetness. And pepper, that's my secret ingredient. Now I'm gonna add my peach slices, give it a little gentle stir so that the heat evenly distributes around all of the ingredients. This looks absolutely delicious. It's a little bit loose for me. I like a thicker peach filling. So what I like to do is take a little bit of cornstarch and add a little bit of the syrup to make a slurry, and that will thicken up the peach filling. And I'll just pour this in around, and we're gonna bring this to a boil, and it should thicken up in just a few minutes. You can tell when the peach filling is ready because it's gotten a little thicker. There's a lot more body to the juice, and it's no longer translucent. It's actually opaque now. Now you can totally start off with a homemade pie crust. I love homemade, but today I'm actually gonna use a store-bought pie crust because it makes it go by so much quicker. What I start off with is a little bit of flour, and I'll flour my surface. So I've got my first pie crust rolled out. I'm actually going to add a second pie crust to this bottom layer because I like my pie crust to be just a little bit thicker. If you find, like I just did, that your dough starts to break apart, it's quite all right. Don't fear. We'll just use our rolling pin in order to combine them and bring them all back together into shape. Once I'm ready, To get to transferring my pie crust, what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of flour for transport, and I'll just roll my crust onto the rolling pin. So now I'll just take my pie crust and roll it out right along the edges of the pan. So I'm gonna lift these sides up just so, and make sure that we can fold these a little bit later. And now our pie crust is ready for our filling. What I like to use is a slotted spoon. That way it drains off any excess juices and I can control the amount of juices that are actually going into my pie crust. All right, there goes my last scoop of peaches. I'm gonna make sure that my peaches are spread out evenly across the crust. So I like to keep my syrup, don't dispose. And you can add this onto the ice cream at the very end. Next step is I'll dot butter across like so. This is a Southern dish. You can't get away with not using butter here, so. Now I'm gonna add my last pie crust topping. Now I'm no crimping pie crust expert, but what I will do is I'll fold my pie crust all around to make sure that the top and bottom crusts are sealed. What I do next is I'll take some egg yolk and I'll do a wash along the pie dough, and that's gonna create a beautiful golden brown crust. I create a quick cinnamon sugar, stir those two together, and sprinkle that liberally across the top. I'll cut 3 large slots into the top of the crust. Now my cobbler is ready to bake. It looks incredible. I cannot wait to dig in. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, you can see that flaky crust and those juicy peaches. That is exactly what I am looking for. And no peach cobbler is ever complete without a heavy scoop of vanilla ice cream. So remember that syrup that I mentioned earlier? We're gonna add that right over the top. Ooh, I can't get my spoon fast enough. Whoa, that is incredible. The crust is flaky and buttery. The peaches are velvety and smooth and sweet. They've got that warm flavor from cinnamon and nutmeg. And that cold ice cream against the warm filling is perfect. Peach cobbler is my favorite dessert of all time. I love peach cobbler. You absolutely have to try this. And those are my 3 ultimate peach recipes for the summer. I enjoyed each and every one. I hope you did too. We have the grilled peach panini. We have our sweet and spicy sticky wings. And finally, we close things out with my favorite peach cobbler. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Or let me know what your favorite peach recipe is. You can find me on Instagram at Meiko And The Dish. Until next time, peace.
Oh yes!